So I got a little story to tell. Yeah, my feelings after the election. I'm elated. I knew, I knew there was no way it wasn't going to be any other way. So I live in a community where we have a community mailbox area, and I'm there getting my mail, and I see a lot of my neighbors there, and I talk to them. So I'm over there, and I see this one neighbor. I talk to him quite frequently. Hey, how you doing? And then we're both getting our mail, and then another mutual friend comes by, and I turn to him, and I'm like, "Hey, Orange Man won." He says, "Yeah, I'm glad." I said, "Me too." So then my neighbor, he's like, "Kamala should have got in." And we were both like, "What? What do you mean?" "Well, she's younger. We need new blood," he says. So I'm like, I'd rather have somebody who's intelligent than somebody who's not. And then he's like, "But he's too old." I'm like, "He is not." He said, "Well, he always said Biden was old." And I said, "He didn't say nothing about his age." I said, "He talked about his dementia." So then he was like, "Well, he has onsetting dementia." And I'm like, "He does not." I said, "Did you watch the Joe Rogan podcast with Trump?" And he says, "I don't watch that stuff. I watch the news." And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you something. Joe Rogan, okay, pretty liberal. And he sat there and talked to this man for 3 hours. I said, if he had any cognitive onset of dementia, I'm pretty sure he would have picked up on that and he wouldn't have endorsed him." He says, he's got dementia. We see it. The way he goes. I said, you're what the news is showing you is very, very misleading. And I said, but you keep watching CNN. You lost me. And I walked away. I walked away. I walked away simply because he didn't want any information. I see you. He didn't want any information. And so here's my feelings after the election. And I'm sorry, my daughter voted for Kamala. I love my daughter. I love my daughter. We don't talk about politics. We don't argue with one another. She's going to do what she does, and I'm going to do what and I think it's because she's gay. My daughter's gay. Um, she came out to me when she was like 16. She came out to me because she knew I would give her the best advice I could give her, and I told her to just be herself. Anyway, that's what you do when you love somebody. But yeah, I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. I don't think that we should just be nonchalantly getting pregnant and killing them. I don't think that we should be doing that. But I do think that if it is, and there's no OBGYN in the country will let a woman die. That's just a fact. They can push that nonsense all they want. Oh, this is going to die and all of this. No, 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 no doctor, OBGYN in the country will let that happen. That's just a falsehood. Okay. But the life of the mother, rape, and incest, I believe that those three things there should be a reason to, end a pregnancy. But this other stuff going on, just to want to just do it because I don't want it, not good. I don't know what OG Fortnite is. I really don't. You can give yourself a break. Here's the one thing. You can say all that you want on here, you know what I mean? And then before I go live, before I end the live, when this goes public, all of that stuff just disappears like you never said it at all. You know? I had one guy I kind of misread what he said, and but I kind of told him the same thing. Listen, I don't care what you say. Don't bother me. I'm paying half attention to it anyway. But um, when you do say it, when I finally upload this, it all disappears. I got the battle pass. You're damn straight. I got the battle pass. Anyway, um, here's my feelings. And I said it. I said it before today, but there's no more silent majority. That stuff has just vanished now. Okay, we're no longer silent. I see it. I see it. I have open conversations with everyone around me because I don't want to hide things, who we are. Like my friend there that I just talked to earlier. We never talk politics. Just don't. I had one guy, another neighbor of mine, and I was out talking to someone else, and I was talking about golf. We were talking about golf. And so he came over, and the conversation just went, "Hey, Tiger Woods is developing a golf course with Trump," and then he just went full blown TDS, and like I was like, "Yo, bro, first of all, don't do that. I didn't bring politics into this. I brought a golf conversation here, and you started getting political." I said, "That's wrong." Well, he walked away, and then the next day he came over and apologized to me. He apologized to me. I give him credit for that. I don't have a problem with people. You believe what you want to believe, okay? But don't come at me with it, because if you come at me with it, I'm going to come back. There's no more silent majority. Yeah. Let me tell you something about Ukraine, okay? I see you down there, Slava, Ukraine, and Roseanne Barr. Did you know she's Ukrainian Jew? Did you know that? A lot of people don't. She's a Ukrainian Jew. Um, anyway, there's a lot of corruption there, and there's a lot of things that have happened there that we're not being told about because they want to push the war. They want to push the war. I don't want the war. Nobody wants the war. But what happened because of U.S. policy more so than anything else. The corruption there in U.S. policy is the reason why this war is going on. We have bad policy right now. That's going to change. It is. I believe President Trump, okay, and he said this, that as soon as he's president-elect, which he is now, he's going to work to stop these wars. So, none of their stuff has worked. They've tried to destroy this country, this world, after they took 2020, okay, when they got themselves in there and they did some nefarious stuff to get in there. That's just a fact. And they tried to take this country down, but this country didn't go down. We're still here. I think it's because of our rights, okay, that we have, that we're able to do that, because we've lost a lot of our stuff because of what they've been doing to us. Yeah, I know. Yeah, ain't that something? I didn't see it, but I'll watch it later. I haven't watched a lot of stuff today. I just got back. I was out since this morning, and I just got back. But I think it's too quiet. I went on Truth. I went on Truth earlier. I went on Twitter earlier. X, sorry, Elon. And the View's having a meltdown. MSNBC is having a meltdown. Regular folk are just being regular folk, though. You know, I don't see a lot, except for the interaction I had earlier today with my neighbor, and it wasn't a bad interaction. I kind of put him on the spot though, because he didn't, it created it created something between us that wasn't there before, and I walked away from him because If you're still sleeping at this stage of the game, I'm too tired to explain it anymore. I've done that. I've done my part. And yeah, I changed a lot of people. My girlfriend, she was a liberal. Prior to 2020, she was going to vote for Biden. And I showed her stuff. I really went out and showed her stuff. And I know people who voted for Biden that this time around they said, "Yo, Trump." I showed her. We went into the store and I said, they. One thing about COVID though, I can't talk a whole lot about that here because, oh my God, if I tell you the truth, that's a bad thing. But anyway, I took her in the pharmacy, and I went to the shelves where they had all of the masks, and I took box by box by box, and I said, "What does that say there? Cannot prevent what? Cannot prevent what? Cannot prevent what?" They're useless against a virus. Okay? But they wanted to shove this thing on your face anyway because they wanted to dehumanize people. They wanted to take your identity away from you so that people looked at you and didn't see nothing but a mask. I didn't wear the mask. Yo, I was the only one. Now, I have friends, they said they didn't either, and I never ran into them in the store, but I was the only one in 2 different Walmarts in this area that wasn't wearing a mask the whole time. And 3 days before the mandate ended, I never paid attention to it. 3 days before that ended, a cashier said, "You're supposed to have a mask on." I'm like, I just ignored her. I ignored her because it's none of your freaking business what I do. I'm not sick. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not sneezing on you. None of that stuff. Leave me the fuck alone. Okay? I tried one time. I went up to Walmart wearing a Lone Ranger mask. I did. I wore, the Lone Ranger mask. And I walked into the store with the Lone Ranger. I was wearing a cowboy hat too. So, and I wore the Lone Ranger mask in there. And so the guy, as I'm walking in, he says, "You got a mask on?" I said, "What does the Lone Ranger wear?" And he said, "A mask." And I said, "Thank you." And I walked into the store. I was wearing a mask. He told me you got to wear a mask. I said, "I'm wearing a mask." So anyway, Trump deserved this win. He worked his ass off, especially the last week when he had rallies every single day, 2, 3 rallies a day. Sigma, huh? Okay. I'm not sure where you're coming from, and yeah. Well, guess what, Grim? Is that you're Grim there? When I upload this, okay, your comments are going to be gone. Yeah. So say what you want, you little triggered troll. I deal with people like you all the time on X and Truth, and you got so much hate in your heart, man. You're sick. You have to be. The body is not well if you got that much hate built up inside you. That's just fact. You got problems, bro. Or I don't want to misgender you, ma'am. Yo. Anyway, so everything they've been telling you, and like I told my neighbor earlier, but he said, "I don't watch that. I just watch the news." I'm like, "You ain't watching news, bro. Stop watching the news because it's not news. It's propaganda." I'm not sure what to talk about tips. I'm not sure what you talk about, tiffs. Tiff. What is tiffs? You talking about Breakfast at Tiffany's? You watching some Audrey Hepburn or something like that? Hey, hey, if I'm pro Trump, I'm pretty sure I voted for Trump. I voted for Cheetos. Hey, I got this Cheetos shirt. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make sure that I Google that. I just copied it. I'm gonna Google that. Guess what? Boom. Yeah, okay. I don't care. People mess with me all the time. Especially on Truth. I get them really. And I had one troll. They actually became friends with each other because I'm an admitted troll. I told him, I said, I'm an admitted troll. I said, what's your excuse? He said, same. I said, okay, I got you. But he actually argued for me in a thread when this one guy was like going off and he was like really getting bent because I wasn't falling for his crap. And so the other guy says, I got to give him credit, man. He doesn't fucking block you and shit like everyone else does. I don't care. I don't care. I don't take it personal, you know? I really don't. Are you going to speak Russian to me? Huh? Da? You going to speak Ruski? Da? You got a Russian bot on here, folks. Here, let me show you something. You want to see something? Da. Yeah, da. Am I Russian? Niet. Niet. I do read Russian now. I read Russian. Just facts. I mean, I had a stamp collection from the time I was 12 years old, okay? And I learned to distinguish languages from each other. I can do that. I can look at any language and tell you what it is. I can't read them all, but Russian I can read. I'm about 60 to 70% proficiency. There's some words I get stuck on, but I gather it by what's around it. Okay. But I also read and speak. Yo hablo español. I speak Spanish and I read Spanish. I can read 5 different languages, including English. Okay. So English is one of those languages. So it's not like, like Melania Trump speaks 5 different languages, including English. English is not her first language. I think it's good to be that way. Like I have friends in Puerto Rico. And I can go to Puerto Rico and get around. I used to be an interpreter for the migrants here. We used to wait for the bus. I worked on one of the farms, and we would wait for the bus, and I would tell them where to go and what time and all of that stuff. I was the interpreter because I spoke Spanish. Yeah, I know her English ain't that great, but I can gather that, being that's not her first language. She has a very strong accent, Her English isn't that great, but she does fine, She speaks her own language very well. She's very articulate. And even with her English, she's very articulate. She does speak clearly enough. You can understand what she's saying, even though she has such a strong accent. That's one thing I excelled in Spanish because I can speak like someone who speaks Spanish. I'm not just an American who speaks Spanish. And I did that when I was in high school. Actually, by the time I was able to take Spanish in high school, the 9th grade, I was very fluent and I spoke better than the teacher did. So my teacher called me the expert of the class. And I remember that year I got the Spanish award. I did because I actually helped her teach the class. It was funny. But I learned a lot though. I learned about genders. I didn't know that when I was in the 9th grade until I started learning there was, ella and ello and, Nino, O and Ah. But I think it's good to be smart and to learn as much as we can while we're here. Yeah. See, there was a message on here that's been held for review. I wonder why. Let me view this. Oh, that's why. That's why. She is not a porn star. And I'm going to just take that message off and put that user in timeout. How's that sound? We just put you in timeout, bro. If you want to be, like nasty and stuff on here, Year, is that Year? You call yourself Year? So they okay. So we're gonna go back to the comments. That's what happens. I got to do my own moderation. I can't afford to hire anybody in this economy. Jeez, I don't make any money on here anyway. If I came on here and I ranted every day, I would probably go nuts. I give these guys that do these podcasts for money on here a lot of credit. They're on here every single day at a certain time and everything. But that's their job. My job is, I don't have any of my artwork out here, but my job is, wait a minute, maybe I can get this piece out of here. This is my job. That's my job. Let me just get these out of here. All right, and remove that. Okay, I don't know. It seems pretty quiet. I think people will get on with their lives, we hope, without any further nonsense. I'm waiting for Rob Reiner to set himself on fire. Yeah, he said, we're all waiting for this. I want to know when it's going to happen so I can get the popcorn and everything. Rob Reiner said if Trump got elected, he was going to set himself on fire. We're waiting. This has got to be something. I've got to see this. This is going to be so exciting. Yes. Meathead is going to become Hamburger. He's going to become Hamburger. Oh, wow. Yeah. Isn't that something, though? He actually said that. I can't wait. He's not going to do it. I guarantee it. But Cher and Barbara Streisand said they were leaving the country, too. I think they're going to Canada. So I got to see if that happens. Yeah. You want to hear something funny? I'm in New York, so Chuck Schumer just lost. He just lost, folks. He's been in there since he was born. He just lost. Chuck Schumer's looking for a job. Maybe he can get a bartender job or something like that down in New York, his apartment, he rents this apartment in DC, and he rents it with Dick Durbin and there's another guy. There's three of them anyway. Dick Durbin is one of the other ones. But ABC did a thing on him a few years ago, and they went into the apartment. It was a mess. And they were talking about Chuck Schumer's clothes are strewn all over the place. And over his bed, there was this huge, like a poster size of Obama over his bed. Over his bed. Chuck Schumer. He's a slob and he loves Obama. But he's gone. Yeah, he just lost. You know who won though? Adam Schiff is now going to be a senator. I wonder if they can censure him in the Senate now, since they did that in the House. We'll have to see. Nancy Pelosi got reelected. This is like her 19th time or something. Yeah, 19 times, I think. She just got elected again. Trump's going to be her boss. I'm not ignoring anybody. I see you down there. I'm not ignoring you. But this is my stream. I'm the one talking, okay? You could say stuff, but I'll say like, whoa, and why are you ignoring me? And what the laughing out loud. Okay, I see you. I'm not ignoring you. But anyway, so yeah, so Trump is going to be her boss again, and she's not the Speaker of the House no more. And guess what? We got both the House and the Senate this time. Yeah, we got a majority in both the House and the Senate this time. So what happens? They ain't going to be pulling the same kind of crap that they were doing when they had a majority, because that was all fake, phony, and false. But now some real work can get done instead of this bullcrap spending millions of dollars trying to impeach somebody over a freaking phone call, and other nonsense that they were doing. They should all be prosecuted for their misconduct. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be nice if it did, I think. Yeah, say what you want, man. I think YouTube will still shut us down. We still can't talk about some stupid stuff because YouTube said, no, don't do that. You know how that is. I love what Elon has done to X. Yeah, you can talk on there. I love Truth Social. I love Walkaway Social. Oh yeah, Brandon has his app too, Walkaway Social. I've been on there since, I don't know, maybe about a year. I joined up about a year ago. But he's got a Walkaway Social. And there's a group there you can interact with, other people and stuff. And it's really friendly. It's a really friendly site, Walkaway Social, because it's mostly just people who walked away and stuff like that. I've never seen anything negative on Walkaway Social. Truth Social it has been rabid because of the trolls, but I think now that they've lost, and I was talking to somebody earlier today. He says, "Where's all the trolls?" I said, "They lost. They're gonna go home with their tail tucked between their legs, and they lost. So they got to go home now." But who knows? But Twitter, that's not going to change. It's always going to be what it has been. I think it's for the better though, that it is better than it used to be. I don't feel so hindered, if you know what I mean. No, they ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to do anything. Maybe after Trump gets in there, okay, because there might be some pushback on that. I believe there should be. There should be pushback on that for these companies operating within the U.S., okay, and censoring folks in the U.S. They're violating the Constitution. So I think that we're going to definitely see some pushback on what YouTube has been involved in, what Google's been involved in. Yes, I went on to Google, was it yesterday? And I wanted to pull up something about positive about Trump, and it wouldn't pull up. What came up was Kamala stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I went up Trump, and then it wouldn't come up. I had to actually go to it for it. So they were suppressing the search things, like, what would pop up when you put something in. They were suppressing it yesterday. That was yesterday. That's election interference. And I saw it for myself, that they were interfering in the election by suppressing search results. Google did that yesterday. So I'm pretty sure that once Trump gets in there, We're going to see a big change in the way social media interacts with its users. And I'm all for that because I don't care what you say. Like I tell people all the time, you can call me names if you want. It doesn't bother me. It's coming from your place. It's coming from your place. It had nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I had this one guy projecting. He was a retired lawyer. He was no retired lawyer because I said something about it was on Liz Cheney's post, and then he came back and he said, "What lie did she tell, and what evidence did she hide?" And because he's pretending to be a lawyer, and I'm like, "You mean you haven't been paying attention? You haven't been paying attention to know that she lied and to know that she hid evidence that would have exonerated Trump? You don't know that? You call yourself a lawyer and you don't know any of this stuff?" And then he spent the next few comments back and forth calling me names and insulting me and all that kind of stuff. And I just said, "Bro, what has that to do with our original discussion? Why are you acting like a child? Just provide me, an answer to our initial, instead of this calling me names and stuff. What does that got to do with anything?" And yes, we wanted to, then he got racist. And I was like, I basically proved that he was no retired lawyer. He was just some dumbass troll. And then he blocked me. Yeah, he was trying to make me intimidate me and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't take that personally. I don't care. You know what? If I see you on the street, I'm going to take that personally. But online, I don't care. I don't even know you. But you're not a retired lawyer. I'm like, he blocked me. And then I was in the same thread earlier today, or was it late yesterday? Okay. And somebody else was in there talking to him. And I'm like, yo, I showed where the conversation, because I took screenshots of this whole thing before he blocked me. And then after I exposed him, he blocked me. So I've been exposing him in the thread after the fact. But I think that's never going to change. You're always going to have them people out there that want to be idiots, Yeah, no, I do ignore them half. That's why I don't get bent when people call me names. Like I've been called all kinds of stuff. Oh, I'm a Putin lover. I'm a fascist. I'm garbage. I'm a maggot. All this kind of stuff. All this. And that's coming from you. That's coming from them. I think nothing to do with me. It's all this stuff that they have inside of them, and they have to get rid of it. They absolutely have to get rid of it. If they keep that inside them, that's going to kill them. So anyway, I think, now that we're seeing, did you know that there was a rally in the markets this morning? Oh, yeah, because Trump won. The rally in the markets this morning was incredible. It was like enthusiasm. That's what that is. It's enthusiasm. Yeah, we're going back. We're going back to making America great again. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make America great again. And anybody who doesn't want to do that, stay the hell out of my way. Make America great again, folks.